Edgar Allan Poe, born on January 19, 1809, in Boston, Massachusetts, was a pioneering American writer, poet, and literary critic. Orphaned at a young age, Poe was raised by John and Frances Allan in Richmond, Virginia. Despite excelling academically, financial troubles and gambling debts forced him to leave the University of Virginia after less than a year. Poe's literary career began with the publication of Tamerlane and Other Poems in 1827. He worked as an editor for various literary journals while developing his craft as a writer. Poe married his 13-year-old cousin, Virginia Clem, in 1836. His struggle with depression and alcoholism worsened after her death in 1847, and he died on October 7, 1849, in Baltimore under mysterious circumstances. Poe's The Murders in the Rue Morgue, published in 1841, is considered the first modern detective story. This groundbreaking work introduced C. Auguste Dupin, a reclusive detective with keen observational skills. Poe established key elements of the detective genre, including the presentation of clues for readers to solve the mystery alongside the protagonist. His innovative approach influenced future writers, most notably Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who created Sherlock Holmes nearly 45 years after Poe's death. Edgar Allan Poe's most famous works showcase his mastery of psychological horror, suspense, and poetic craftsmanship. Let's explore some of these in more detail. The Raven, 1845, is a narrative poem that catapulted Poe to fame. It tells the story of a distraught man visited by a mysterious raven on a bleak December night. The bird's repetitive utterance of nevermore drives the narrator to madness as he mourns his lost love, Lenore. Poe employs a hypnotic rhythm and internal rhyme, creating a mesmerizing effect. The raven itself symbolizes mournful and never-ending remembrance, representing the narrator's inability to escape his grief. The poem explores themes of loss, memory, and the thin line between rationality and madness. The Telltale Heart is a short story that delves deep into the psyche of a murderer. Narrated in the first person, it follows the protagonist's descent into paranoia and guilt after killing an old man with a vulture eye. Poe's genius lies in his ability to create an unreliable narrator who insists on his sanity while describing increasingly irrational actions. The story culminates in the narrator's confession, driven by the imagined sound of the victim's still-beating heart, showcasing Poe's mastery of psychological horror. The Cask of Amontillado is a chilling tale of revenge set in the catacombs of Italy during carnival season. The story follows Montresor, who lures his friend Fortunato into the catacombs with the promise of rare Amontillado wine. Poe builds suspense masterfully as Montresor leads an increasingly inebriated Fortunato deeper into the vaults, eventually chaining him up and sealing him behind a wall. The story is notable for its dark humor, irony, and the psychological complexity of its narrator. Annabel Lee, one of Poe's final poems, is a haunting exploration of love that transcends death. The poem tells of a love so strong that even angels are envious. When Annabel Lee dies, the narrator's love persists and he dreams of her every night. The poem's lilting rhythm and repetitive structure create a dreamlike quality, reflecting the narrator's obsession with his lost love. Like many of Poe's works, it draws on themes of beauty, death, and undying love, possibly inspired by the loss of his own wife, Virginia. These works demonstrate Poe's ability to create atmospheric, psychologically complex narratives that continue to captivate readers long after his death. His exploration of the human psyche, particularly in moments of extreme emotion or madness, set a new standard in American literature. Yet, Poe's influence extends far beyond his lifetime. He is credited with inventing the modern detective story, pioneering science fiction, and mastering the horror genre. His works continue to captivate readers worldwide, cementing his place as one of the most significant figures in American literature.